Do not pack your carry-on until you check these 7 rules. Airlines quietly changed everything, and most travelers haven't noticed yet. The airport is not the same place you remember. Have you noticed something strange happening at airport gates lately? People kneeling on the floor, frantically opening their bags like they're defusing a bomb. Shoes coming out of carry-ons at the boarding door. Travelers arguing quietly with gate agents. And that one awkward moment when someone suddenly realizes their carry-on is about to cost them more than their entire ticket. Welcome to 2026 air travel. The uncomfortable truth is this: airlines didn't just change the rules, they changed how the rules are enforced. And most passengers, they're still operating like it's 2019. So before you zip up your bag, walk into the airport, and confidently join the boarding line thinking you've got everything under control, you need to understand what's actually happening behind those gates. Because these 7 carry-on rules will decide whether you board smoothly or get financially ambushed at the aircraft door. Let's break it down. Rule 1. Your bag is not carry-on size unless the outside says so. Most travelers think they understand carry-on size. 22 by 14 by 9 inches. Easy, memorized, repeated like a mantra. And yes, airlines like American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, JetBlue, and Alaska Airlines still publish those exact dimensions. But here's the trap. The size didn't change. The enforcement did. Gate agents are now actively measuring bags using overhead sizers. Not occasionally, not randomly, routinely. And they measure everything: wheels, handles, side pockets, zippers, even that tiny bump you thought didn't matter. Your bag is not measured empty. It is measured fully packed, fully expanded, fully real world. So that almost fits luggage, it doesn't fit anymore. The new rule is simple. If it is close, assume it is already too big. Rule 2. Basic economy is a trap you don't see until the gate. Here's how it usually goes. You find a cheap ticket, maybe $79, maybe $99. You feel like you've won travel. Then you arrive at the gate, and reality hits. On basic economy fares from airlines like American Airlines, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines, overhead bin access is often not included. What you actually bought is one personal item only. Everything else equals paid upgrade or penalty. And the worst part? You only find out at the airport when your options are gone. At that point, gate baggage fees can hit $40 to $75. You lose online discount rates. You are paying panic pricing. So that cheap flight suddenly isn't cheap anymore. It's just a delayed invoice. Rule of survival: always check fare class before booking. If it says basic economy, assume your carry-on is already a problem. Rule 3. Expandable luggage is a silent money leak. Expandable carry-on bags look like genius design, more space when you need it, flexibility, smart packing, until it costs you $75 at the gate. Here's the issue. When you unzip that expansion section, your bag can grow by 1 to 2 inches instantly. And that small change is enough to push you over the airline's limit. Gate agents are trained to spot this visually. They don't even need the sizers sometimes. If your bag looks bulging, uneven, overstuffed, struggling to close, it gets flagged. And once flagged, there is no negotiation. Your extra shoes just became a paid lesson. Rule: keep expansion zippers closed unless you've already paid for extra baggage online. Rule 4. Budget airlines turn baggage into a ladder of fees. Flying with airlines like Frontier Airlines, Spirit Airlines, or Allegiant Air? Then you are not buying a ticket, you are buying into a fee system. Carry-on pricing changes depending on timing. At booking, cheapest. At check-in, higher. At gate, highest, sometimes $100 per bag per direction. And most passengers climb this ladder without realizing it. Round trip, 2 bags,
You could accidentally spend $300 to $400 in baggage fees on a $100 ticket. The real rule is, on budget airlines, baggage is part of the ticket price. Always calculate it upfront. Rule 5. Your personal item is not immune anymore. This one surprises almost everyone. Your personal item still counts and is now enforced more strictly than ever. Standard size, roughly 17 by 10 by 9 inches, but the key rule is not size, it is compression. If your backpack cannot fit under the seat, stays rigid when full, looks like a second carry-on, then it becomes a carry-on in disguise. And on basic economy tickets, that triggers instant fees at the gate. So no, your big backpack strategy is not invisible anymore. It is just delayed detection. Rule 6. Gate checking is not free and never was in 2026. A dangerous myth still floating around. They'll just gate check it for free. Not anymore. Gate-checked bags now commonly cost $40 to $75 on major airlines like American Airlines and United Airlines, $75 to $100 on budget carriers like Spirit Airlines. The only time it was free was when airlines were voluntarily asking passengers to help manage overhead space. Now, if your bag fails the rules, it is not a favor, it is a charge. Rule: if your bag is borderline, pre-check it online. It's always cheaper.
Rule 7. The free items loophole most people ignore. Here's the twist airlines don't advertise loudly. Some items do not count toward your baggage allowance. These include coats and jackets, umbrellas, duty-free purchases post-security, assistive devices, food bought inside the airport. That means smart travelers manipulate this intentionally. Wear your heaviest jacket. Carry your duty-free bag separately. Use every legal exemption. This isn't cheating, it's understanding the system. Bonus rule: liquids rules are not what you think anymore. The famous 311 rule still exists: 3.4-ounce containers, 1 quart bag, 1 bag per passenger. But enforcement is now inconsistent due to new CT scanners in some airports operated by Transportation Security Administration. Some airports let liquids stay inside bags, don't require removal, or skip parts of the rule entirely. Others still enforce it strictly. So the real rule in 2026 is assume the strict version applies, unless you confirm otherwise. Bonus TSA PreCheck is not a free pass. Programs like TSA PreCheck reduce friction but don't eliminate screening. You can still be randomly selected, and you still need real ID or passport compliance when required. Also important, PreCheck does not override international customs rules handled by U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. Bonus shoes, food, and security myths. Let's clean up some airport myths. Shoes: PreCheck travelers often keep shoes on. Seniors, 75 plus, are often exempt. Some airports fully skip removal. Food: you can bring solid food, sandwiches, fruits, snacks, but spreads like peanut butter, yogurts, or sauces are treated as liquids. Medications: you do not need original bottles for TSA domestic flights. Bonus duty-free trap that costs people money. Duty-free shopping seems harmless until you connect through another country. If your itinerary includes another security checkpoint, your sealed duty-free liquids can still be confiscated. Only buy duty-free liquids on your final flight leg. Otherwise, you are literally carrying an expensive gift for airport security bins. Bonus: the airport is a behavior machine. Airlines are not just transporting people anymore, they're optimizing behavior. They use boarding stress, time pressure, vouchers, group calling shame mechanics to influence decisions. That $15 delay voucher, it saves them hundreds per passenger who accepts it without reading terms. Even boarding zones are designed to create urgency, not efficiency. And it works, because most passengers just want to go home. Final truth: knowledge is your only advantage. Air travel in 2026 is not about packing. It is about understanding systems, because every rule has a timing advantage, a pricing gap, or an enforcement loophole.
And the difference between paying $0 and paying $100 is often just knowing when and how the rule is applied. So before your next trip, measure your bag properly, read your fare class, avoid expandable overpacking, pay baggage fees early, not late, assume strict enforcement always, because airlines are not guessing anymore. They're calculating. And now you are too.
Welcome to the new airport reality. The airport is no longer just a place you pass through. It is a system, and systems reward those who understand them. So the next time you see someone panicking at the gate, repacking their bag on the floor, or arguing over a fee they didn't know about, you'll know exactly what happened. They didn't pack wrong, they just didn't know the rules changed. But you do now, and that changes everything. If this helped you avoid even one airport mistake, imagine what it can do for your next flight. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more travel truth breakdowns, and comment, "I'm packing smart," if you're never getting caught at the gate again. Because now, you don't just travel, you travel informed. Imagine this. You've successfully survived the long, winding labyrinth of the check-in queue. You have wrestled your oversized suitcase onto the scale, avoided eye contact with the airline agent looking too closely at your carry-on, and now you face the final boss of air travel, the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, screening checkpoint. As you approach the officer holding the glowing blue passport scanner, a sudden, inexplicable wave of existential dread washes over you. You haven't broken a single law in your life. Your bag contains nothing more volatile than a travel-sized tube of toothpaste and 3 pairs of identical socks, yet your heart begins to hammer against your ribs like a trapped bird. Your palms grow slick. You suddenly forget how to walk like a normal human being, swinging your arms in a bizarre, uncoordinated rhythm. Congratulations, you have just entered the ultimate psychological theater of modern transit. While you're frantically trying to remember if a rogue bottle of water is lurking at the bottom of your backpack, the officer at the podium is executing a highly orchestrated, subconscious, and literal multi-point inspection of your entire being. They aren't just checking if your ID matches your face, they're profiling your behavior, reading your body language, and scanning your physical appearance. And they do it all in the time you say, "Hi, how's it going?" Welcome to the world of tactical human observation. Let's pull back the curtain on exactly what TSA officers notice about you within the first 10 seconds of interaction, and what your subconscious tells them before you even open your mouth. The invisible clock, the science of the first 10 seconds. To understand what happens in those crucial initial moments, we have to look at the security architecture of an airport. Airport security is built like an onion. It operates in distinct layers. The physical machines, like the multi-million-dollar advanced imaging technology, AIT body scanners, and X-ray belts, are the inner layers. But the outermost defense mechanism is completely human. For years, the TSA operated a formalized behavioral screening program known as SPOT, Screening of Passengers by Observation Techniques, which was later evolved into Behavior Detection and Analysis. While the formal program has faced its share of academic and administrative scrutiny over the years for its subjectivity, the core training remains embedded in how frontline officers evaluate the crowd. When you step up to that podium, the officer's evaluation isn't random. They're running a silent, internal checklist divided in tight chronological windows. Seconds 1 to 3, the kinetic approach, the walk, and the wardrobe. Before you even hand over your boarding pass, the assessment is already begun. As you advance from the main queue to the podium, the officer watches your approach. This is where your gait, posture, and clothing choice offer the first data points. The dynamics of footwear and attire. What you wear to an airport says a lot about your experience level, but to a trained officer, it can also raise red flags. Officers instantly notice seasonal anomalies, If it is a sweltering 95 degrees Fahrenheit in mid-July and you are wearing a heavy, oversized winter trench coat or a bulky leather jacket, you have immediately generated an anomaly. Officers aren't just judging your fashion sense, they are calculating spatial volume. Is that jacket hanging naturally off your shoulders, or does it seem weighted down by hidden objects? Are you wearing loose, layered clothing specifically designed to obscure your body silhouette? They also look directly at your feet. Heavy, thick-soled combat boots, unlaced high tops, or shoes that look strangely stiff can indicate a passenger who might be trying to conceal items within their footwear, or someone who is anxious about the shoe removal process altogether. Posture and kinetic hesitation. A normal, rushed traveler typically moves with a predictable forward-leaning momentum. They want to get through the line, grab their bins, and find their gate. Conversely, individuals carrying high levels of stress or malicious intent often display a fractured gait. Officers look for micro-hesitations, subtle pauses before crossing the threshold of the security line, or a deliberate slowing of pace as the passenger gets closer to the officer. A rigid, unnaturally upright posture can indicate a bracing reflex, a physiological defense mechanism where a person subconsciously tightens their muscles to appear under control. Seconds 4 to 6, the face-to-face, micro-expressions and physiological triggers. Now you are standing directly in front of the podium. You hand over your identification. This is the peak window for facial analysis. TSA officers are trained to look past your polite smile and scan for universal physiological triggers of high stress, fear, or deception. The ocular giveaways. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, but to security personnel, they are windows to your stress levels. Within 3 seconds of looking at your face, an officer evaluates your oculomotor behavior. The avoidance glance. Avoiding eye contact entirely is a common trait of a nervous traveler, but intense, unbroken, unblinking eye contact can be an even bigger giveaway. It often signals someone overcompensating to appear completely innocent. The scanning reflex. Is your gaze fixed on the officer, or are your eyes darting wildly to the overhead cameras, the side exit doors, or the placement of other officers nearby? This is known as environmental scanning, and it is a classic sign of situational anxiety. Rapid blinking. The average human blinks roughly 15 to 20 times per minute. Under acute stress or when attempting to deceive, that rate can skyrocket to over 50 blinks per minute as the nervous system goes into overdrive. Physiological fluctuations. You cannot easily control your autonomic nervous system. When the brain perceives a threat, even if that threat is just the fear of missing a flight, it triggers a release of adrenaline. Officers are trained to spot these involuntary physical changes instantly. The autonomic checklist. Carotid artery pulsation. The rapid visible throbbing of the jugular or carotid artery in the neck, indicating an elevated pounding heart rate. Flushing or pallor. A sudden rush of blood making the face turn deep crimson, or conversely, blood draining from the face, leaving the traveler looking ghostly pale. Diaphoresis, or sweating. Excessive perspiration, specifically beads of sweat forming on the forehead or upper lip, completely disconnected from the actual ambient temperature of the terminal. Seconds 7 to 10. Baggage dynamics and verbal litmus tests. The final segment of the 10-second window involves how you physically interact with your belongings and how you respond to basic interaction. The white-knuckle grip. How a person handles their carry-on luggage provides massive context. A typical traveler might drag their suitcase carelessly, drop it on its side, or hold it loosely. However, individuals attempting to smuggle contraband or carrying immense fear exhibit a hyper-vigilant attachment to their property. Officers look for the white-knuckle grip, clutching a backpack strap or suitcase handle so tightly that the knuckles turn white. It reveals a deep psychological unwillingness to let go of the item, signaling that the contents of that bag are causing the passenger acute mental strain. The casual conversation trap.
Have you ever had a TSA officer ask you a seemingly mundane, friendly question while scanning your ID? Heading home today? Is Denver your final destination or just a layover? What kind of work do you do out there? Don't be fooled. This isn't just Midwestern friendliness. It is a highly structured behavioral tool known as a voluntary informal interview. Passenger approaches. Officer asks routine question. Natural response. Direct, simple, delivered in a natural vocal range. Anomalous response. Over-explaining or monologue. Pitch spikes or throat clearing. Delayed processing or hesitation. When an officer asks a simple question, they aren't actually listening to what you say, they're observing how you say it. A normal response is instantaneous, simple, and delivered in a natural vocal range. An anomalous response involves auditory hitches. Does your voice crack or jump an octave? Do you clear your throat repeatedly before speaking, a sign of a dry mouth caused by an adrenaline spike? Do you provide an overly elaborate textbook-style monologue explaining your entire life history for a simple yes or no question? Or worse, do you suffer from a noticeable delay in processing a completely basic question about your own destination?
The 10-second assessment matrix. To see how these individual pieces fit together into a unified behavioral profile, let's look at how an officer's internal assessment matrix categorizes baseline travel stress versus genuine anomalies. Observation zone, normal travel stress indicator, high behavioral anomaly indicator. Gait and movement, rushed pacing, checking watch, audible sighing over lines. Micro hesitations, rigid posture, pacing backward. Attire harmony, messy clothes, slip-on shoes, layers appropriate for the weather. Heavy winter wear out of season, uncomfortably stiff shoes. Ocular patterns, glancing at line progress, looking at digital flight boards. Extreme environmental scanning, rapid blinking, fixated staring. Vocal response, mild annoyance, brief but coherent answers, normal pitch. Throat clearing, voice pitch spikes, over-explaining simple details. Physical manipulation, dropping bags carelessly, tossing items into bins quickly. White-knuckle gripping, shielding bags with physical body position. Humanizing the blue uniform, they know you're stressed. It is vital to ground all of this science in a fundamental truth. TSA officers know you're stressed. They are fully aware that the modern airport experience is designed to turn calm humans into anxious, sweating wrecks. They can easily differentiate between a parent who is losing their mind because their toddler just dropped a sippy cup, a business traveler panicked about missing an annual board meeting, and an individual whose body language suggests a deep, calculated malice. Their goal isn't to catch you fidgeting because you drank too much airport espresso. The entire architecture of behavior detection is designed to look for a cluster of compounding anomalies, multiple red flags working in tandem that break the normal, chaotic baseline of the airport terminal. Next time you find yourself stepping up to that podium, take a deep breath, drop your shoulders, loosen your grip on your passport, and remember that the person behind the blue uniform is just a human being doing a complex job, trying to keep the skies safe. Before you clear security. If this deep dive into the hidden psychology of airport checkpoints kept you hooked from start to finish, don't leave us stranded at the gate. Smash that like button right now to let us know you enjoyed this ride, and hit subscribe to join our community for more captivating deep dive documentary write-ups into the hidden systems that run our world. Drop a comment below sharing your absolute wildest, funniest, or awkward airport security story. We read every single one.